Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Saurabh Jain on stage. Very warm welcome to you.
Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining here. It is a pleasure to have you all. At some point of time, we were in touch during the introduction of W.E Matter, then the analysis, and so on. So happy to see you in person here, many of them, because you were at different locations. Good to have you at once now. So today, as we already know about our awards, so I want to understand is this category, how we identify the true or what method we use to come to this conclusion that why your company is the employee choice workplace or not. That is the idea here. So what we wanted to create is something which is credible, where organizations can know that and people can know, everyone can know that why this company is where I want to go in future. So that is where the Global Employee Choice Award Workplace has been launched, and this is our second year. I will like to focus on certain areas where what are the categories, what method we use, and so on. Right. So let me just focus on that. What we have identified is a scientific method. So unlike just asking to a random sample, we take each of your responses of all your employees to put together to understand that what your employees are saying, to avoid any kind of influence in the organization. So we take all the feedback from all your employees, help us to understand that what are they saying like, and your employees are the judge. There is no jury as such. Your employees are the judge here, and they decide whether my company is the employee choice company or not. Now, other than this scientific method, we also realize that our people are putting a lot of effort. Our CEOs, CHRO, managers, leaders, everyone is putting an effort to create a employee choice workplace. So why not recognize their effort as well? And therefore, we also came up with the individual level awards as well. Now, we do realize that the companies are evolving. Diversity has become a very important part. Well-being has become an important part. We have Gen Y, Gen Z in the workplace, specifically Gen Z who are in their 20s who are just coming to the workplace. We want to create a culture. We want to create an organization where each demographic, each generation can feel like their own. And therefore, we have the generation awards as well. We have special categories: the best workplace, well-being, diversity, managers, leaders, as well as the other categories as well. Now, also, we have partnered with Economic Times this year, so so that you can help you with your employer branding as well in this particular case. Now, if I talk about it, what are the categories? So we have categorized the awards into different segments: mega, large, mid, small, and micro. So these are the major areas that we have focused on. Plus, as I said, we have the CEO and CHRO. Now, the mega, large, medium, and small has been decided depending on the size of the organization, majorly the employee size of the organization. So it is basis on the employee, that how many employees you have. Companies with more than 5,000 employees, they are into the mega segment. Companies with 1,000 to 5,000 employees are into large. And then in mid, it's 500 to 1,000, and then 200 to 500 is basically your small, and any companies which are less than 200 are into micro segment. So those are the major areas that categorization that we have done. Plus, as I said, we have the CEO and CHR awards as well, because it's a culture thing. Without the support of the CEO, without the support of the leadership and the CHRO, nothing will change. And therefore, we also want to recognize the best CEOs and CHROs in this particular industry, which the employees are saying, the employees' choice CEOs and CHRO that we call it. Now, other than that, we have other categories as well. Yeah. So which are the special categories that we have? Now, as I mentioned earlier on, because today people want to feel that, what are the areas that they want to work with. Diversity has become a very important part. Well-being has become an important part. Gen Y has become, Gen Y are the people who are right now in 30 to 45. They are the future of the workforce. They are the future of the leadership team. Today they are in their 30s, early 40s. Tomorrow they will be leaders, and that is the reason it is very important for the organizations to engage them so that they can develop future leaders in the organization. And therefore the Gen Y award are come. Now Gen Z, as everyone know, with different demographic and different generation, the expectation changes. Specifically, Gen Z are the population who are basically born with technology. They are using the technology from the time they came to this planet. And that is the reason it is important for us to understand that what has changed in the past. We cannot just base our hypothesis on something, on people who have just in their 20s. And therefore, it is important to understand them and create that particular workforce. And Gen Z award is therefore to recognize so that people can feel that, this is the organization which might suit me the best. People want to understand what they can resonate with. And then we have the well-being. Now, our research have also shown that how the well-being have become a very important part over the past 5 years, and people, the more people are there from younger generation, the more importance of the well-being are there in the market. And therefore, it is important for the organizations to engage them, to attract talent, and also to make sure they're performing and staying with the organization. It is important to focus on the well-being part as well. And then we have the diversity and inclusion. As we know that today, unlike maybe 30 years back, 40 years back, the demographics were different in the workforce. Majorly, they were the male population, the male counterpart was used to dominate everywhere. Today in the board meetings, whether it's the leadership, we have a chief guest also, had a chief guest also, Ritu Anand. They are from, a generation which is completely different. And and they are the new female employees, the female leaders of the country, of the world. And therefore it is important to focus on the diversity part as well. And the world is changing towards that. And in the right direction, we also need to recognize for companies who are making those efforts. And therefore, the particular area of diversity and inclusion as it comes in, this also guides the companies to focus on this particular area, because you want to make sure that your company attracting the best talent. And to attract the best talent, irrespective of the gender, you have to showcase that how your organization is treating different genders. And therefore, the diversity and inclusion awards were there. Now, as you know the process, that we conducted an employee engagement survey with certain questions. We tried to measure the 5 behaviors of the engagement, which is promoter, persistent, perseverance, passionate, and peaceful. Now, those were the 5 critical behaviors that tells us that whether a person is engaged or disengaged in the organization. Now, what we have done here is in the survey, along with the engagement behaviors that we were trying to capture, the other part was the other drivers that we have captured. Our drivers, which are further under leadership, manager, organization, and employee. So these are the segments, these are the areas that we have covered in the survey. Those are the areas that we have tried to assess that how the organizations are working on, and then take actions. That people have responded to those areas, people have responded to how my goal setting, whether my manager is giving me feedback, whether I'm getting appreciated or not. Those were the areas that were captured. People have given the feedback on those bases, and that has finally resulted into this particular awards, and also in different categories. For example, the leadership drivers were primarily important to create the leadership award or the CEO awards, and similarly the manager drivers and the organization drivers for the CHROs and so on. So those were the major areas, the areas that we have covered in the survey. Your people have responded to and given us this feedback. So as you can see it here, it's a very scientific approach that we have followed. Scientific enough to understand, taking not just a random, but taking all your employees' feedback on the parameters which are important in the organization, which tells us whether a person is engaged or disengaged in the organization. So following that matter, using just the survey inputs, no any other influence, no subjective element, completely objective. That is how the W.E Matter awards are here, and the winners are announced. We definitely look forward to having you in the award distribution. That is about me on the award methodology that we have followed, and looking forward to the celebrations here. Thank you very much.